So you want the magic words, the ones that slip past her guard, hit her emotions hard, and flip that attraction switch that she can't shut off. Well, good. Stay with me, guys, just for 3 minutes, because when you get this, you'll never talk to women the same way again. Now, here's what you probably heard your whole life. You've got to look like some GQ model, you got to flash the fancy car, you have to have the fat wallet or she'll never want you. But here's what flips the whole game on its head. Here's what they don't tell you, and this is why I'm different. My name's Jesse, and I've spent over 20 years in the trenches, coaching good men just like yourself. And I've tested these lines on thousands of real women, baristas, students, party girls, and from it all, I've learned this one undeniable fact. There are a few simple triggers that reach deep inside a beautiful woman's brain, make her want to lean into you, make her smile big, make her see you as the guy that she wants deep down inside. No fancy car needed, no Hollywood jawline, just one line at the right moment can blow away all of your competition. Unfortunately, most guys have this boring 20-minute conversation to nowhere that gets them kicked right back into the friend zone. But you, my friend, when you learn these lines, you won't have to chase her ever again. No, she's gonna be the one chasing you. So here's the plan, guys. I'm gonna give you 4 powerful phrases and formulas, not cheesy pickup lines, but real psychological triggers that work when you drop them in with the right tone of voice. So get ready to take some notes, because once you say these, you will become that one unforgettable, irresistible man in her life. So the very first thing you can say to a woman to draw her in and make yourself irresistible in any conversation is to make open loop statements. Open loop statements. So the next time you're talking to a woman, you can just drop a little line that hooks her curiosity and won't let go. Where you say something to her like, you know, you have this very unique way about you. I like that. Or you might tell her, you know, Amanda, I noticed something really interesting about you. And then you stop talking. You shut up. You just let her hang there. Or you might say, you know, Amanda, there are 2 things that I just love about you, and 1 thing I'm not quite so sure about. And you stop talking, you let her hang. And now with that open loop, she's leaning into you and she's wondering, what the hell did he notice about me? Because you're presenting to her a puzzle. You're presenting to her a mystery. And a woman cannot resist a mystery, particularly when it's about herself. Have you ever seen a movie trailer that ends with, coming soon to a theater near you? Well, that right there, that movie trailer, it's an open loop. That movie trailer feeds you just enough information to get your brain itching for more answers. Well, it's the exact same thing here. You're dropping her a little bit of bait, but you don't give her the payoff right away. And that pulls that girl into the conversation and makes you magically interesting to talk to. As for myself, I'm dropping open loops on women in my conversations all the time. Like I'll lean in and tell the girl, you know, you have this one thing about you that's so unusual, but I'm still deciding if I like it. And that one little open loop, it pulls her in. It gets her hooked because now she desperately wants to know what it is that I've noticed about her. And that's precisely how you get a beautiful woman standing there, talking to you, listening to you for 20 minutes, for 30 minutes. That open loop, it draws her in and it buys yourself more time. So look, most guys are having these boring, dead-end conversations that go nowhere. Predictable conversations where they give everything away up front, where there's no tension, there's no pull, there's no spark. But when you start using open loops, when you start injecting open loops into your conversations, now you become that trailer for a movie she can't wait to watch. You become the question she's dying to get an answer for. And she'll start chasing you and chasing you and chasing you just to close that loop. So the next time you're talking face to face with a stunning girl, don't just say what every other guy says to her, but create an interesting puzzle for her. Create a mystery for her that's going to leave her wondering, and she will never forget you. All right, guys, moving on. Here's the second thing that's going to make you irresistible in any conversation, and that is making qualifying statements. Making qualifying statements to the girl. Now, when it comes to complimenting a woman's looks, complimenting her beauty, gentlemen, that is dead. Compliments are dead. They are buried 6 feet under the ground with dial-up internet. Because in this age of modern social media, particularly very attractive women, They hear "you're so pretty" from simps more times than she can even check her phone. So instead of drooling over her beauty and giving her all these sappy compliments and validating her for her looks, what you want to do instead is qualify her. Don't compliment her, but qualify her. And what I mean by that is you're not showering her with praise for her superficial looks or her beauty. No, instead, you're complimenting her for something that has to do more with her personality or a personal trait of hers. Like, you might say to her, "You know, Amanda, I wasn't so sure about you at first, but you're actually pretty damn cool to talk to." Or another example of qualifying the girl is telling her, "You know, Amanda, I like that you've got this sweet, feminine energy, and you just don't see that much nowadays." Do you see the difference here? You're not complimenting her looks. No, you're pointing out something unique about who she is. And that could be about her vibe, her spirit, the way she carries herself. And this is the funny thing, gentlemen. No guy is actually doing this. No guy is doing this, especially around beautiful women. So I'll give you a couple more examples of qualifying the girl. You might tell her, "You know what, Amanda? At first I thought you were just another pretty face, but you've actually got this calm, feminine energy that I really respect." Or you might tell her, "You know what, Amanda? You're actually pretty smart. I'm a little bit surprised, actually. I like it." So it's this qualifying the girl, making qualifying statements about her, telling her why you approve of her for something that's a deeper personality trait that has nothing to do with her looks, is an incredible way to make yourself irresistible to that girl. Because if she's truly a beautiful woman, every other guy out there is treating her like a plastic blow-up doll on a pedestal. But when you qualify her on these deeper traits that aren't just skin deep, you're making her feel special. You're making her feel unique. She will feel like you understand her on a deeper level. She will feel like she connects with you at a deeper level. She's going to feel like you truly appreciate her. She's going to feel like you see her as a unique human being despite her good looks. And that's going to make you stand out because no other guy is doing this. Now, we've really only scratched the surface because this next one here, it flips the whole power game on its head. But here's the deal, gentlemen. You can keep stumbling around in the dark, trying to figure this out all on your own, or you can shortcut years of frustration and finally become that man that women truly cannot ignore. If you truly want to get this locked in fast, not in years, but in weeks, you need somebody in your corner. You need somebody who's going to push you. You need somebody who's going to call you out on your BS and show you exactly what to say, when to say it, and how to make that girl melt while every other dude is fumbling around out there in the friend zone. And that's where my private coaching comes in. Okay, you can go right here to attractionzilla.com. You're going to see another free video there that explains exactly how my 12-week coaching program works. And I don't teach you any fluff. I don't give you any generic advice here. It's just the real mindset, the real material, and the real results for you to become your very best self with women. Now, I got to let you know that I don't coach every single guy because I get new applications every single day, so I can't accept everybody into the program. I only take you on if I feel like I can at least 10x your results. But look, if you're over 30 and you're tired of the regrets and you're tired of feeling invisible while the women you really want slip away, go right here to attractionzilla.com, guys. This is your best shot. Fill out that application and let's make this the year you stop chasing after these girls and you start choosing them. All right, so moving on. One of the very best ways to make a beautiful woman lean in, laugh, and see you as the most interesting guy in the room is to lie to her. That's right, gentlemen, you're going to lie to her. Tell her an absurd lie, and I'll show you how this works. Beautiful women in particular are always being asked the same boring questions by men, and they're getting the same boring answers. And guys are always desperately trying to impress them. So beautiful women are starved. They're literally starved for something different. So in this case, you're going to toss her a lie that is so outrageous that you are not trying to impress her just by telling her this lie. Like if she asks you how old you are, You can just look at her, give her a smile, give her a smirk, and tell her, yeah, I'm 21. She's going to laugh. She's going to tell you, no, you're not. But you want to keep the lie rolling a bit here. You tell her, I know, I don't look like I'm 21. I look like I'm older, but that's just because I spend all day surfing out underneath the sun, smoking cigars. It's kind of wrinkled up my skin a bit. But what you're doing here, when you tell her this absurd, outrageous lie, is that you're not qualifying yourself to her. You're not trying to impress her like every other guy tries to do. No, instead you are teasing her. You're messing with her. You're obviously lying to her. And for a beautiful woman, that is super intriguing because no other guy will ever do that with her. Or imagine if she asks you, what kind of car do you drive? Now, most guys in this situation, they're going to try to flex. They're going to try to impress her or be apologetic about the car they drive. Most guys will start to qualify themselves to the girl, which is going to come across as very lame and very weak. Instead, what you can do is spin her a tall tale. Tell her an absurd lie. Hey, you know that Oscar Mayer wiener car? Yeah, the big one with the hot dog on top. That's my car. And what you can do is keep stretching that lie out and make it increasingly absurd. No, yeah, it's my car. It really is. Yeah, Elon Musk, he just called me the other day, in fact, and he wants to make the next Tesla look just like it. And she's going to laugh. She's going to crack up because it's so obviously not true. And she's going to realize eventually that you're just messing with her. And that's the magic of it, gentlemen. It's not about the lie per se. It's more about showing her that you've got nothing to prove to her, that you will make zero effort. I'm talking zero, a big fat zero effort to impress her. And look, here's exactly why these work, gentlemen. Hot girls, especially hot girls, they live in this fantasy world of flattery. And you're going to break that. You're going to show her that you're not another approval-seeking simp that's desperate to impress her. And that's what's going to make you stand out from all the other guys out there. That's what's going to make you the most interesting man she's ever met, the most interesting man she's ever talked to in her whole entire life. That's what's going to make you irresistible to her, that you're not trying to impress her, that you will tell her these absurd lies. All right, gentlemen, here's the fourth thing you can say to a beautiful woman to make yourself irresistible to her. Now listen, asking a woman a bunch of boring questions like, where are you from? What do you do? Asking her questions like that is like handing her a one-way ticket to Boardville. She's heard those questions 50,000 times before by every other guy. So if you really want her leaning into you, eyes sparkling, hooked on every single word you're saying, you've got to flip the script, where you're not just asking her a bunch of boring questions, but rather you are making accusatory statements. So here's how this can work. You can take the blandest, the most snooze-worthy question and twist that question into a bold accusatory assumption that's going to take her by surprise. So for example, instead of asking the girl a boring question like, so where are you from, Amanda? You might tell her, you know, Amanda, you've got that dark caramel skin, those big brown eyes, that thick black hair. So don't tell me, you're Brazilian, right? Or maybe half Italian? Or maybe a little bit of both, Brazilian and Italian. Am I right? And boom, now you have just put her into a box. It's like saying, all right, I'm going to put you into this box where you're part Italian and part Brazilian. And I challenge you now to climb out of that box and correct me. And now what you've done is you've pulled her into that conversation because she will want to correct you. She is going to want to set the record straight. And it's that tension, it's that playful friction that you're creating that's like pouring lighter fluid onto the attraction. Or, for example, instead of asking her the very boring question, hey, Amanda, how was your day? You might do an accusatory assumption. You say, hey, Amanda, you got this very happy look on your face. I bet you spent the whole day doom scrolling on TikTok. Or maybe on Tinder, swiping on cute boys. That right there, that's an accusatory assumption. It's a statement, a cold read that you're making about the girl that's inherently challenging and inherently creating some friction, creating some tension where you're pushing her buttons. And that makes you irresistibly exciting and unpredictable. Like, I was talking to this girl at a coffee shop not too long ago, and I did ask her some questions about herself, but I also mixed in some accusatory statements. Like, one of the ones I said to her was, you strike me as the type of girl who acts all sweet in public, but she's got 3 ex-boyfriends tied up in her basement. And that got her excited. It got her laughing because I was creating tension. I was creating friction. And from that point on, you could feel the attraction levels rise pretty much instantly. And why accusatory assumptions work like dynamite, especially on pretty girls, is because beautiful women in particular, they're just dying to feel a spark. They want to feel that tension. They want to feel the friction, the fun. But most guys are playing it way too safe. Most guys just want to ask her a boring question that she's heard 1,000 times before. But when you drop an accusatory assumption on her and not just ask her questions, suddenly you become that bad boy. You become that wild card. You become the guy who doesn't just talk, but you're that special man who teases her, who pokes her in the belly and challenges her, and that's precisely why she will remember you forever. So ditch the boring question, guys, and start throwing out some bold accusatory assumptions to that girl. And just watch how quickly you become the most irresistible, the most interesting man she has ever talked to. All right, guys, since you enjoyed this video so much, you gotta watch this one next. These are the 8 flirty lines that shock girls into instantly liking you. Now, whether you're talking to a girl on a first date, or talking to a girl at a bar, or even the library, doesn't matter the situation, you can insert these lines into any conversation to make the girl like you, to pump up the excitement and increase the attraction. So go watch that right now.